Hey internet, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of the Jongravesshow. Talking to everybody about what's going on with RWBY Volume 3, Episode 8. And this episode pretty much does start off just the way how you pretty much expect it to start off, with them talking to Yang about what she did to Mercury, of her pretty much shooting him in the kneecap. And it's actually pretty interesting how what happens in this episode kind of has a very interesting, I want to say, it has a very interesting like appeal to it, because like when you really think about it, it's like, okay, and we do get a little bit more interest. Well, we do get a very interesting sort of look from all the other people around her. Namely, the most interesting being Blake in this case. Blake pretty much talking about the leader of the White Fang, the guy who has a shotgun sword, and pretty much she does kind of reference what actually happened in the previous episode, which kind of led the leader of the White Fang to turn from somebody fighting for like animal people rights to turning into somewhat of a terrorist group. So honestly, it is pretty interesting to sort of see how how far this villain's influence can actually spread. And it did kind of hit them pretty hard, to where that Blake and Weiss, they do kind of back off from this, and they say, you know what, we're not going to really do that. And kind of going over to Team Juniper, or pretty much like that is kind of what they do tend to talk about next. But I kind of want to get the whole like Yang story plot finished for this episode anyway. And pretty much then that's when her Uncle Crow comes in, and of course while he was trying to figure out like why in the world she shot Mercury in the kneecap, she kind of lets it slip that, you know, her mother did actually save her, you know. And of course, you know, Crow says that her mother, she did have a message for her, and that, you know, that she was or in her own little crazy kind of way, she was contacting him. She did and she did want him to leave her a message, which was that in Spider-Man terms, everybody gets one. You got your one, so don't ask me for anything ever again. So pretty much now it seems as though as that like her mother is now her enemy, in which that she has to chase her down, which that does seem to be one of the major plot points for what Crow is actually trying to help Yang with, to find her mother and kind of get some answers from her as to why she left, or what is she fighting for, and all the rest of this other stuff. Now, cutting over to Team Juniper, a lot of that's mostly cutting over to what's going on with Pyrrha and her pretty much getting used to becoming a maiden. And honestly, from how it seems though, is that she's kind of in that reverse mode, where that she's not to where that, of course, she has a wonderful moment with Jean. However, even though he's kind of helping her out here, you know, by trying to be there for her and trying to help her out, the problem with this is that he doesn't really understand what, or at least like he doesn't understand like what she's going on about, because of course he's helping her out through it, but then she kind of throws up the destiny talk, and what she wants to hear is that you shouldn't follow your destiny, and pretty much you should run away with me. That's what that is what she wants John to say. However, what actually comes out is pretty much what you would expect. Do it, follow your destiny, and pretty much you will always succeed. And that's something that she doesn't want, to where that she inadvertently attacks him and, you know, runs off and such, you know. And finally, at the last stretch of this episode, which is the RWBY part, which thanks to, I forget the name of the bunny girl, but pretty much because of her, yeah, she kind of gives Ruby a small hint as to what is going on with Emerald and Mercury and what happened to Yang. So of course, at Pyrrha's match, she does see Emerald sitting over there doing her normal thing, to where that when like she tries to go and leave, she runs into Mercury and kind of figures out what they're planning to do, which really this episode does kind of end with a crazy cliffhanger. But until then, that is what I gotta say about that. Please tell me what you think about this down there in the comment section. I'll catch you guys on the next Jongravesshow. Please keep watching anime, keep playing video games. I'm out.